One important factor that drives economic growth is a competitive tax code.
Yep.
States with better tax climates seem to perform better economically than those with poor tax climates. So with that in mind, have any of Iowa's neighbors taken big steps forward on the property tax front, or are some of them at least trying to improve their property tax codes?
There are some neighbors that are trying to do things on property taxes for better and for worse. Nebraska is looking at some property tax limits. I worry they go in the wrong direction, where they may shift this more towards income taxes or other taxes that may make them less competitive, and we're talking with them. We want to make sure that they do this in a competitive way as well. Illinois, of all states, actually does have some property tax limitations that you do not have, that does constrain the growth of property taxes. Of course, they're starting from a really high set point, especially if you're in Cook County, but really anywhere in the state, you have some really high property taxes. So limits on growth, but maybe starting at too high of a baseline. States like Wisconsin, the Dakotas have some limitations as well. But this is a national issue. We see states across the country putting limits in place. It's important to make sure that there's still some local government flexibility. It's important that you don't put more of a burden on other taxes that can be less economically competitive. But people want some predictability. And I do think there's a lot of value in recognizing that there's some limit to how much local government can grow, at least without coming back to you and asking permission.
You mentioned Illinois, so I'll ask you one more question. Their governor recently pointed to Iowa's income tax code as a model to follow. As Iowans, should we be proud that Illinois is holding Iowa's income tax code as a model, or should that scare us a little bit?
I think it should scare you a little. Of course, the new governor of Illinois seems to be unaware of the changes that are in the works here in Iowa, because of course Iowa's income tax rates will be declining in the next few years and ultimately getting down to a top rate of 6.5%. He doesn't want a top rate of 6.5%. He likes 8.98, and of course he doesn't want to bring in the federal deductibility that has reduced that. So you're not as bad as the governor of Illinois would like people to believe, but on the other hand, you do not really want to be a model for where a state like Illinois should be headed.